Good evening, everyone. It's your host, Moose, with $10 Sports. We've made it to episode 12, previewing NFL Week 13. So, early Thanksgiving morning for us here at $10 Sports. Let's hit that intro.
Dollar
Sports.
Hope everyone's having a great Thanksgiving Eve. It's $10 Sports. We wanted to make sure we got our episode done before the Thanksgiving games. We got some good action going on Thanksgiving Day coming up. Some of my favorite time of the year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. Hope you have a great evening. I'm here with my co-host, MRod. He's here for $10 Sports. How's it going, MRod?
Hey, it's going pretty good. Thanks for asking. We just finished doing some Buccaneer hangover from a Buccaneers win, so we actually enjoyed that one. Definitely a good watch. It's a Buccaneers win, so each time the Buccaneers win, we act like that's our last time to do it for the year. So go ahead and please watch that one as well, and let's get ready to talk about how to make some money this week with football.
Yes, and of course you'll see up in the upper ticker. Make sure you're watching our live shows on YouTube. And finally, our podcasts are available on your normal podcast platform. Search for $10 Sports on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Google Podcasts. We are streaming on there, so we're really excited that you now no longer have to watch us on YouTube with your phone in front of you while you're driving to work, listening for your hot bet takes of the week. You can now just put us on Spotify podcasts and let it stream without having to watch the video on YouTube. I know you were worried about the safety aspect, Emrod, so I'm happy. I'm happy we could make that work out for you.
Hey, safety's first. I don't want to be responsible for anyone getting in a car accident while they are watching $10 Sports, Bucking Hangover, or Balls, Bros, and Brews, because they have no other option but to watch it. So now we're available, like Moose said, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. All three apps are available on Apple CarPlay or Google, Android Auto, it's called?
Yeah, I don't use Android Auto. For our Android users out there, I guess use Google Podcasts, but I've been an Apple guy for a little bit. I know Emrad's been Apple for a little bit as well. So Apple Podcasts, I just searched it right now, and we're on there, so it's easy to find us. Kind of a disappointing week last week in the bet. God, I'm still not over it, and I'm gonna let you talk about your bets. Let's switch over the slide here, Emrad. Talk about your bets last week before we get into mine, and hopefully I can get it together.
Yeah, so mine, like we both discussed, the Eagles versus Seahawks are kind of like a gift. Was it +1? Seahawks were the underdogs.
Yeah.
I know the game was in Philly, but come on, look at the way both teams have been playing. So that was just kind of like a give me there, in my opinion. So we definitely both took that one. And then the next we had the Raiders, which has been like my team that I just keep losing on.
They keep hurting you, Mike. You keep going back to. It's like my Browns. I love the Browns.
No, absolutely. I'm not sure what it is. They're like that ex-girlfriend I know is not good for me, but I keep coming back to her thinking
it's going to be different this time.
It's going to be different this time, but no, not the Raiders. They'll give you a nice little time, but at the end of the day, they're always going to disappoint you. The Lions, that was another one which we thought was a give me.
Oh my gosh, that came out of nowhere, and we'll. God, that was the one. Go on. Sorry to interrupt.
No, we just misinterpreted, not misinterpreted, but miscalculated all the injuries on that team. Matt Stafford was not there. Jeff Driscoll didn't look good the game before, but that's a game we probably should have thought about a little bit more, especially when tickets for that game and the upper level were like as low as like $7, lower level like $40. There's a reason why that game is not one anyone wanted to watch or attend, and that's maybe one we shouldn't have betted on.
Red Zone was like full disclosure, like we will not show highlights of this game until they are literally scoring, because both of these teams are terrible and are not going to make the playoffs. So don't expect to watch Lions or Washington highlights until scoring has happened. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so I should have maybe looked into them a little bit more, but hey, you know what? We make mistakes. Same way I've made many mistakes with the Raiders. But going on over here with the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, this is Green Bay Packers 49ers. 49ers, I kind of thought that.
You haven't been a believer all year.
No, I have not. I just keep thinking about the quarterback, and Jimmy Garoppolo has not sold me yet because the one game where they put the ball in his hand, I was like, Jimmy, we need you to win the game for us. Was against the Seahawks, he couldn't get it done. Brett Favre and Aaron Jones and that offense is playing. Not Brett Favre, I mean Aaron
Right.
Rodgers.
Sorry, I thought you were going to make a comparison to Brett Favre. I was waiting. I was like, oh, all right. Let's see where he goes with this.
Yeah, I'm stuck in 2009.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers.
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers, I really thought that he was gonna, pretty much show Jimmy why he is the man. Packers defense had been somewhat decent, but that 49ers pass rush was just out of this world that game and led to Aaron Rodgers one of his worst career games as a professional quarterback. So I was definitely wrong on that one. I got to stop betting against the 49ers because apparently they are the real deal. And then we had Baltimore over in Los Angeles. The Rams haven't been playing that well, and the Ravens just been playing lights out. So I was just riding the Ravens wave, which I'm glad I did. And Lamar Jackson is just that guy. I mean, coming to the season, they're saying his accuracy and he couldn't throw. He was making some amazing throws, amazing runs. I mean, I don't know how sustainable that is or how long it's going to last, but Lamar Jackson's someone we should not be betting against.
It's good enough for 1 year. And if you really want me to, I'll pull some audio of you saying how he was going to be terrible this year.
No, absolutely. I thought he was going to be absolutely terrible, especially after that Chargers playoff game last year, because he beat the Chargers in the regular season like week 15 or 16, and then Chargers had tape on him. Chargers watched the tape, and he could not move the ball at all against Chargers in that round one of the playoffs. So I thought that after, all these defense coordinators watching tape on him, they're going to say, hey, we can stop this guy. And I thought he was a one-hit wonder, but that guy, he can make throws, and that was the thing. I didn't think he could make the throws. But
yeah,
he can make them.
I don't know what Tom Mansky video he was watching over the summer, but he can make throws now. And like you said, I think that was his biggest liability. It's like, cool, you can run for 100 yards a game, but that's not sustainable in the NFL.
Absolutely.
But now he looks like Patrick Mahomes out there. Like he has that additional skill set of being able to scramble, and he's just dropping dimes in there. So it's been amazing to watch the Ravens and
Ravens defense. I mean, I thought they're losing several players that they were going to take a step back, and they have not stepped. If anything, they probably made a step forward because their defense is younger, faster. It's all around just really good right now. They're playing some really good football right now. So those were my picks. I went in. I got 2 out of the 5 right. Missed 3 of them. Like I said, Raiders, Packers, and Lions. So let's jump over to Moose. Moose, how many picks did you miss? Did you miss more than I did or less?
I think I missed less, MRod. Going to Moose's picks some less. Oh god, I'm so mad. I'm so happy we didn't do like a live, like gambling room like they do on a few of other blogs that we follow, because I was actually watching the game here in the $10 Sports Man Cave. I had some guests over, and I was furious. I was yelling at the TV at the top of my lungs, especially when, out of all days, Dwayne Haskins finally is like, you know what, I'm gonna lead a game-winning drive today. So, of course, in true Lions fashion, the Washington Redskins march down the field and kick a game-winning field goal to cost me I was so mad. Dwayne Haskins. Lions game was the only game I missed, and I think what was more frustrating is I took the Lions on the money, just like the money line. I didn't need them to cover 3.5, or whatever the spread was. I just needed them to win the damn game. That's all I needed. All I needed them to do is to win the game. Jets got their business done. I called that one. Giants kept it within 6.
Now you know how Lions fans have felt for the past 40 years. You got to feel that in one day. Imagine that, 40 years of that.
Yeah, I guess that's the Lions fan experience is right there. I thought I had it as a Bucks fan, but You know, it was a double. At least the Bucks won last week, but you know when you have $200 in your hand, oh man, I was so frustrated. And you know that pick cost me the teaser as well. I mean, I think I think New Orleans losing by 3 screwed me over on the teaser as well. But I mean, the Lions potentially almost cost me about $450 with that loss. So I was distraught. I don't even think I watched the 4 p.m. games. I think I was done with football for the day, and we watched something else. We probably watched reruns of whatever on TV. I just
90 Day Fiance.
yeah. Probably getting ready for 90 Day Fiance. I just couldn't watch any more football. But called the Jets. I was happy with that upset pick. Jets taking care of business against who the Jets play, the Raiders. Your Raiders pick there. Just I mean beating them, but definitely a big beating over in New York.
34-3. Like, what happened, Raiders? Go ahead.
Buffalo looked good. We knew about Seattle. Probably should have just taken them. This was really interesting, and I think I talked about it in the last episode. Like the Seattle money line was a better value than the +1 they were getting, because for some reason, and I didn't really understand why. I think the +1 was paying -110 or -115, but then picking them straight up was -105 for some reason. So I took them straight up for, like, I guess the fractional, like for the 50 cents on the dollar I would gotten or whatever. But then called the Giants +6, knowing that game was going to be, under whatever the point value was. Didn't think the Bears were going to open up a sizable lead there. They almost had me. Thankfully, the Giants scored a last-minute touchdown, and honestly, we're in position to potentially win the game. But thankfully, Giants pulled it off. But it was that pesky Lions pick, man. I'm still sad about that. That would have been the first hit of the $10 parlay of the year for us.
Yep. Which, like I said, we would dig deeper in there. We saw the injury, saw the quarterback situation, everything like that. I think maybe we would have stayed away from
it would have been a no-go. I would have been like, you know what? This game's not even worth picking. Let's just... I thought, but, when you were initially looking at that, and Driscoll's been playing decently well.
Yeah.
I mean, and even Scarborough was rushing well enough that I picked him up my league.
I mean, the week before that, they held it against Dallas. I mean, they lost, but 35-27 against Dallas. And
it was
they
competitive.
Kept up with them pretty much the whole game. And you go to the game before that, and what did they do? They played against the Bears, lost 13-10. I mean, 13-20. So, I mean, they've been playing competitive football the whole season. I mean, Raiders, they lost 31.
They've been within the score most games, if not, They beat they've been competitive, and I just didn't think it was going to be Washington's day. So, but let's move on. I'm ready for this week's picks. Let's look at the slate of games for this week. However, definitely a couple easy picks, a couple games to stay away from. Let's look at the Thanksgiving slate, though. Not a really exciting Thanksgiving Day slate of games. I mean, I guess the most interesting game is going to be Buffalo-Dallas, just because it's... I feel like it's week 13, and I still don't know if the Bills are good. I don't know if you feel the I don't know if you feel the same way, but it's like week 13, and I'm like, is this team good? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're just not used to seeing the Bills at a position. What's their record? Where are they at?
Yeah, what is the Bills' record? Maybe they're not even good, and we're like, oh, the Bills. Yeah, we're gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. What is the Bills' record? Are they
8-3?
They're 8-3. What the heck?
8 wow.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, but they don't play like they're a good team. They win every game like 3-0. Like they're not scoring points. I guess their defense has been carrying them most of the year. Yeah, 8-3 for the Bills. I think Dallas wins that game. The spread's really interesting though, because if you're looking at Buffalo's usual margin of defeat, even, I mean, they had a tough one against the Eagles. I think it was their biggest loss so far of the year, but Patriots, they were within 6. What was their other loss? I'm trying to look at their other loss. Eagles was kind of a weird blowout game, and then they were within 3 of the Browns, so...
Yeah, well, the first 3 games of the year was Jets, Giants, Bengals. That was like they went start off 3-0, lost to the Patriots,
Yeah,
had that 6 point. But the Patriots game, they could have won that one, but I think that they had a little bit of referee help on that. I forgot what play that was, but it should have been called, and the Bills would have won that
right.
game.
And then like 14-7 against the Titans.
Hmm.
Then they beat the Dolphins. They had kind of a stinker against the Eagles. They beat the Redskins that was probably their biggest margin of victory there.
Yep.
Close loss to the Browns in the dog pound. Again beating the Dolphins again by a sizable amount. And then probably their best game of the year was against the Broncos this past week. I mean, it's just I don't know what team to expect against the Cowboys, and this could be an upset alert pick of the week.
Look at their final. Okay, they got the Cowboys. So let's just say they lose that one because we know the Cowboys are good. They got the Ravens.
But are the Cowboys good though? They're 6-5.
Okay. Let's just for argument's sake, let's say the Cowboys. So I mean, they'll probably beat the Steelers. The Steelers on a third quarterback, and they'll probably beat the Jets. So I'm going to say they could probably end this year at 10-6, potentially 11-5. I mean, they're pretty much a playoff team. Really think about it.
I think they make the playoffs as a wildcard team. You don't see them beating the Ravens.
No,
You just kind of glossed over that one. You don't see him. I think that's going to really let us know finally next week if the Bills are good. Their margin of defeat against the Ravens, I think, are going to let us know if they're good or not.
That's pretty fair. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I mean, their schedule has been pretty cake. I mean, Dolphins twice. You had the Jets twice. You got, I mean, Bengals, Giants,
Redskins? Like, man, could they have
Redskins?
Oh, they've been
the Titans when Mariota was still the starter.
Yep, exactly. So rest of our
the Broncos quarterback is right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not Joe Flacco, that's for sure. But it's another Allen because I think the Panthers played the Broncos or I don't know, man. Whoever's playing quarterback for the Broncos, but the rest of the Thanksgiving slate games, Bears at Lions. I think the Bears are a pretty safe pick here. Lions are down to their third string quarterback, so easy to take the Bears there. I think the over-under is really interesting at 37 just because the Bears somehow don't find a way to not score points.
Yeah, neither can score points.
And so that might be an under 37, which is pretty low. Again, Bills Cowboys. I don't know. I might take the Bills here, and I might take them with the spread 6.5. I think they stay within a touchdown. I think that's your pick there. Their largest margin of defeat was a weird game against the Eagles. I think this is a slam dunk. You take the Bills with the spread.
Can't argue that too much. Saints and Falcons. I would take the Saints -7 all day. I think they have some vengeance from the last game when they got beat down by the Falcons and didn't even score a touchdown the whole game. So I think that is going to be the opposite this time, and I'd say they easily, comfortably win over a touchdown.
Wonder if this is the game that finally gets Dan Quinn fired. This could be the one if the Saints drop a 40 spot on the Falcons. Then moving into Sunday, getting into December already. Big slate of afternoon games. I think Packers Giants is a pretty easy bet there. One of my no-goes is definitely San Francisco at Baltimore.
Yep, don't touch that.
I am not touching that game at all. Baltimore favored by 6 points. Over-under is really interesting. You'll see in Moose's over-under, I took the under on this one. They are anticipating bad weather for this game. So I think this is a slam dunk under if you're into the over-unders. Eagles, Dolphins.
Heavy run teams control the clock a little bit.
Right. Eagles Dolphins at -10 for the Eagles. Unless you really need a kind of like a a confidence builder, stay away from there. The odds really aren't in your favor unless you want to stress over the margin of victory here. Man, I think the Eagles should carry the day here and cover the 10.
I don't know. The Eagles have not looked that great. I mean, I'd probably take the Eagles I'd take the Dolphins +10 on that one, to be honest with you.
Interesting.
Dolphins have been battling for a playoff spot for the past few weeks. So,
Well, now
um,
that Tua is hurt, I mean they can't tank for Tua anymore, so they're playing to win now. The Dolphins are gonna try and win 5 games this year.
I would take the Dolphins +10 on that one. The
Interesting.
Eagles have not looked good. They just have not
Well,
looked
they
like the
don't have
Eagles
a
were
wide
supposed to.
receiver. I don't even know who plays wide receiver for them.
Nelson Aguilar.
He was out though last week. Like I don't even know how they pulled it off last week, they lost last week to the Seahawks, and that's exactly why. Aguilar was out. Jackson has been out the entire year.
Jeffrey.
Alshon Jeffrey has been a non-factor. I think they have Miles Sanders as their running back right now. I mean, Zach Ertz is the only offensive weapon that Carson Wentz has. Everyone wants to give Carson Wentz a hard time, but when you're,
Jay Ajayi got signed. He had a couple carries.
I mean,
Jordan Matthews, didn't he come back to that team?
Matthews has been on there. You're right. He's been a threat out of the backfield, but it.
You're thinking about Jordan Howard. I'm talking about Jordan Matthews, the receiver.
Sorry.
Who I think he re-signed with the Eagles. Oh, actually, no, he's not. He's at home with Matt Stafford. Not Matt Stafford. I mean Sam Bradford. Our last show.
Where are you, Sam Bradford? We miss you. We miss your full sleeve jerseys that quarterbacks don't wear anymore. Cleveland Browns and Steelers. I kind of feel this is the gift of the week, unless I'm like terrible at betting on the NFL. I don't 2.5 points. I don't really understand where that's coming from.
The Steelers bringing in another quarterback to make
it's a third quarterback
career start. I would always bet against, especially third stringers like that.
Unless it's the Bucks. If it's the Bucks, you take the new quarterback. But it's the Browns and Steelers. I know this is the rematch after Myles Garrett's and Mason, the whack-a-mole. But I mean, really, gonna bring it down to 2.5? Is there supposed to be bad weather in Pittsburgh? I don't know. I think the Titans Colts is your classic AFC South matchup. For me, that was a stay away as well. Didn't really like this game. I think did you pick the Colts, Mike? I think you picked the Colts.
No, I don't. Actually,
was this a stay away for you as well?
I believe so.
Yeah, this one I don't like. Part of me wanted to take the Titans.
Tannehill's just been too tight.
That's what I'm saying. I actually wanted to take the Titans as underdog picks here, and I think I took them off ultimately just because I didn't want to have that stress. I would take the Titans straight up here. I wouldn't even bother with the spread. I think the Titans can win this game the way they've been playing. Yep, there it is. Panthers Redskins. Panthers should dominate this game, especially after a couple poor performances the last few weeks. Jets Bengals. I think I took the Jets on the spread there.
Yeah, what's his name? Sam Darnold's been looking pretty good, so I would take them with the spread. Then you got the Buccaneers Jaguars coming up. I know for anybody who listens to Buccaneer Hangover, I get my whole spew on that one. How Nick Foles hasn't been looking that great. All they really need to do is contain Leonard Fournette. Buccaneers have the best rush defense.
Which they should. They should.
And our secondary's actually been turning it up, as you guys heard Moose talk about that for our fucking Hangover viewers. So pretty excited about the Buccaneers for this game. I think it's one that Bucks will win here. Spreads -1. I would take that.
Yep. Absolutely. I think the Bucks win this game, so no question on that. Rams Cardinal. I think this is an interesting game. I stayed away from it, but part of me really wanted to take the Cardinals on this one because I just love seeing the Rams in misery. And honestly, the Cardinals I think have played decently most of the year. They've had a couple tough breaks, but I think this is a winnable game for the Cardinals.
I mean, right now, Dolphins are a winnable game against the Rams. The way that they're looking, that's what I was conversation I had with somebody about the Rams. Everyone was really big on them after 2 years, about a year ago when they made all these big offseason signings. And I was like, that's just not sustainable. You have highest paid defensive lineman, highest paid quarterback, highest paid running back, one of the highest paid wide receivers, and now you trade away 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey's not going to accept anything less than the highest paid cornerback. You cannot have that many highest paid position players and be sustainable. So I'm very curious on seeing this team implode here in the next year or two. And like I was telling my buddy earlier today, all the Rams were doing, in my opinion, were buying a championship. Hopefully, they were going to win the championship last year or the year before. Get everybody really excited over there in LA to buy
Yep.
those tickets for that new stadium.
Yes, exactly.
It's and now it's going to implode.
It's
I
falling
guess
apart.
they're basically the Florida Marlins of what, 90,
That
90,
you have
96, whatever.
I think those are all great points. You have an extremely overpaid quarterback who, I mean, we were questioning how good he was even as early as last year or the year before. Uh, but you're absolutely right. You have a stadium that's $4 billion over budget. You have the Chargers who are debating whether they're going to go play somewhere else. I mean, things are not looking good for the LA Rams franchise. I mean, I, it's I think it's tough to be a Rams fan right now, but I think you're absolutely right. I think hopefully the NFL wasn't involved in creating this artificial. Wow, the Rams are great. We got to get pump up football in LA, but I wouldn't be surprised. Would be
And Sean,
surprised.
Sean McVay, he did look like freaking trends, whatever. No,
Transcendent.
transcendent. That was what I was
There you
looking
go.
for. He did look transcendent coming into last year, picking up this team that Jeff Fisher left and making them look amazing. But I think he's now after watching him these past few games, he's just like a very one-dimensional coach, and I think teams have figured out his schemes and have figured him out, and he has not looked good ever since then. And the thing that's bothering me about McVay is he's not even making any changes. He's just continuing the system.
Yep.
And that showed on the Super Bowl when they played against the Patriots. Patriots came back second half, made a little bit of adjustments, where the Rams did not make any adjustments whatsoever. So, I mean, it's not looking very good. I mean, and there's always the Rams didn't make it a Super Bowl, but I mean, they did have that help by the referee against the Saints there on that no call pass interference. But I mean, this team is just not looking good, and I think this is with all that salary space and all the money they wasted. I think I wouldn't say wasted, but I think you just have way too much money in 5 players, and when you have to sign Jalen Ramsey, this is going to be a team that's going to start going downhill pretty quickly.
Yeah. Closing out the late slate of games, you got the Chargers and Broncos. That'll be an interesting matchup. I think the Broncos came out on top a couple weeks ago when they played in Los Angeles. Raiders and Chiefs, always an interesting matchup. I mean, I expect the Chiefs to overpower and yeah. 10's about right, I think, on the spread. Patriots Texans. I kind of feel this is another semi-gift from Vegas. I mean, I don't quite understand why the Texans are getting the benefit of the doubt here. This is really interesting to me that only a 3.5. Yeah, I mean,
if you look at last year's game, Patriots and Texans, that was that game that came down to the wire where, I mean, they just lost, and this was like pretty much, I want to say it was Deshaun Watson's like one of his breakout games against a tough team in New England, and he played them really well. And Bill O'Brien is very familiar with the Patriots organization, so I think it's more like a familiarity thing, and knowing how they usually play each other. So I mean, I think that's why they had that game there at that spread instead of it being probably more like 7, like it usually you would expect. So I'd say being in Texans, knowing the rest of Bill O'Brien, how much he knows his team, knows how the defense works there, and Deshaun Watson, if they're able to contain him, I don't know, but I think they just don't have a really good secondary in Houston, so I probably will take the Patriots on that one.
and then closing out Monday Night Football. Hopefully, it's a good matchup. Vikings and Seahawks.
Yeah, that should be a good matchup there. You got Russell Wilson, you got Dalvin Cook, 2 very fun guys to watch. Uh, Vikings are coming off a bye week. I usually, for some reason, do not like the Vikings off a bye week. I feel like they just, I don't know, I guess they stay in Minnesota, they get frozen in the get the
Overplan, under
get some of
deliver.
when they need to warm up a little bit. So usually it gives them about one game to warm up there. So I'd probably, with the game being in Seattle, I probably would take Seattle minus the 3 on this one. It could still go either way, but if this was 2 weeks after the bye week, I'd probably kind of like lean towards Minnesota. But right off the bye week, I'll take the opposing team.
All right, and that's your rundown for the games of the week. Let's get to our picks. Got MRod's $10 parlay of the week. Lead us through it.
All right, we got the Packers coming off a loss to the 49ers there. Packers are -7 against the New York Giants. Seems like a little bit of a no-brainer there. Giants defense not that good. I think this will be a big bounce-back game for Aaron Rodgers. We discussed about the Buccaneers. I'm taking Buccaneers -1 on that one. The Jets -3.5. We got the Jets against the Bengals. I think just saying the word Bengals, I've said enough. Because the Bengals are the only team in the NFL that knows how to tank for a quarterback. And then you got the Carolina Panthers against the Redskins -10. Panthers defense been looking pretty good. Got McCaffrey on the other side. And seeing the way they played against the Saints and pretty much played all year. I know they had a couple of bad games, but I think this is a team. This is the game they should comfortably win, probably by 2 touchdowns. And then the Browns -2.5 against a third-string quarterback at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is always a tough place to play, but also when you're a third-string quarterback making your first career start, it doesn't matter where you play. It's always going to be tough. So as we discussed prior screen, I'm taking the Browns -2.5 on this one. On my $10 parlay, I will net $2.55 and 62 cents.
All right.
So let's see. Hopefully this is our actual first one that we hit and gives our some credibility to our show. Let's go over and move over to Moose for his rundown of his picks.
It'd be great, especially after being so close last week. Got Moose's $10 parlay of the week. Couple similar picks here. I played it.
Let's switch to the Moose Cam.
Moose Cam, yeah, good call. I played it a little safe here. I took all favorite teams. I also took the Jets against the Bengals, just taking them straight up at the -180. I took the Bucks with the spread at -1. I think they should easily beat the Jaguars, and with one being, I think they'll beat them by more than one at least. I took the Chargers on the money line, getting a little bit of revenge against the Denver Broncos.
Rockies.
I think the Patriots. We were talking about against the Texans. I think they cover that 3.5. They should beat the Texans pretty soundly. And again, our gift I thought was Browns -2.5 at the Steelers. I think that's a gift as well. So I know we say this every week. I've said it like 11 times before. Feeling pretty confident about this parlay of the week. So again, a little lower on the money scale for this one, only $170. But if this hits, I will gladly take $170 on the win and the first $10 parlay win of the week. So hopefully that's what we have going on this week. Of course, we have Moose's Monster teaser for you. I know I explain it every week, but your teaser is 6 points in your favor either way. So I did an 8-way teaser this time. I took the Bears, Saints, Packers, Eagles, Browns, Jets, Patriots, and Seahawks. Bears are, when you do the teaser, they come to even money. So Bears just have to win the game. Saints just have to win by more than one. So a 2-point Saints victory, we're good. Packers just have to win by more than one. Eagles have to win by 4, at least 4, to get the push. Browns can lose. The Browns are at +3.5. Jets get 2.5. Patriots get 2.5, and the Seahawks get 3. So unless something monumentally crazy happens, I'm trying to think where this could get screwed up here, Mike. You have any opinions on what game might cause this teaser to die?
Hold on, I'm trying to take a look here.
I mean, the Lions really got me unexpected last week. I couldn't believe that. Uh, Trying to think if the game maybe I'm scared of the most. I mean, maybe the Seahawks game. The, that could be a game that, I mean, that's a losable game for the
Yeah,
Seahawks.
that's the
I
one
think
I was about to
I
say.
think that's the
I mean,
one.
it could be Seahawks. Seahawks or what's the Patriots give you? It gives you
So I
Patriots
get
-3. So Patriots could lose, right? Yeah.
Patriots
Yeah.
could lose by 2.5. So if it's a field goal game, if the Texas kicker kicks a game-winning field goal at the end, that would drain the teaser as well. So
Those
well,
would be my two major concerns, those two games there.
so yeah, hopefully they're towards the back end. Hopefully we click all. Hopefully we make it through Thanksgiving. We got the Bears and the Saints, so as long as we make it through Thanksgiving, we got a shot. As we always do, we do our 1 p.m. over-unders. Right now, I'm taking over 43.5 for Titans Colts. I'm going to take under 47 because of the bad weather for the Ravens and the 49ers. And I'm liking over 48 for the Bucks and Jaguars. Moving on to the four. Or are you going to say, Mike?
I said I would probably take the under on the Bucks and Jaguars personally, but move on.
Going to take the under there. All right. And then 4 p.m. and Monday night game included as well. Taking all overs here. I'm going to take over 47.5 for the Cardinals Rams. Over 38.5 for Broncos Chargers. And going to go with the over 50 for the Monday night game, which I guess in retrospect I don't like because Monday night games have been kind of crappy basically all season. But I'm hoping Kirk Cousins plays like he's capable of, and it'll be a little bit of a shootout there in Seattle over 50. So we'll see what happens with the over-under picks. Any thoughts on those?
I'm only won 38.5. I guess I would take it. I would lean more towards the under, but 30.5 is a pretty low score.
No, I think that could be an under there. I mean, it's the Broncos average 10 points a game or whatever it is. So.
Two bad offenses, two bad quarterback. I mean, not saying Rivers' bad quarterback, just having a bad quarterback.
He's having a bad year. And I think that's it for us now. For episode 12, are we on episode 12 of the of $10 Sports? Man, we've made it through almost most of the NFL season. Pretty excited for our little project here. Again, a big reminder: make sure you watch us on YouTube. We have our videos uploaded to our channel, which is Balls, Brews, and Bros. Just give us a search on YouTube. You'll find us pretty easily. You can always search $10 Sports as well, or Bucking Hangover, or the Thunderdome Puckcast. You'll find our channel. And then, of course, we talked about it at the beginning of the show. We are now live on most of your main podcast streaming options. So you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcast. So make sure you listen to us on your drive to work, to and from work, or if you're driving with your family around, need some of your latest sports gambling advice. Make sure you're looking for $10 Sports on your podcast platform. I think that's it for us tonight. Thanks for sticking it out with us. Happy Thanksgiving from the $10 Sports team. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button on YouTube if you're a YouTube fan. Give us a like on the video. Download us on your podcasting apps. It's been MRod and Moose for $10 Sports. Have a great night.
10 Dollar
Sports.